It's another day, another game is apparently being review bombed because, like I've mentioned before, anytime somebody doesn't like something, it's obviously being review bombed, right? I mean, we just threw out a video, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is being review bombed by this Daniel Morris guy. So, of course, we're going to throw in here, we're going to jump over here to another article from Daniel Morris done today. Escape from Tarkov is now being review bombed. Well, let's see here. Why does he say Escape from Tarkov is being review bombed? Is it being review bombed because people hate the company? Or are they just putting forward legitimate complaints about the game itself and perhaps the operation of the game? Maybe. I'm going to go with probably number two. But you know what? Let's jump into the article here. We will look at what he has to say. And then on top of that, we'll go over the Steam and we'll look at Escape from Tarkov's reviews, okay? Let's see here. One day after its 1.0 and Steam release, Escape from Tarkov is already being review bombed. That's right, because remember, if you complain, it's a review bomb. However, despite Escape from Tarkov's Steam review rating tanking, right now it doesn't seem to have all that much to do with the quality of the game itself, okay? See, it's been waiting, Escape Tarkov for a long time. Why are people complaining? It says the game has debuted with mixed reviews on Steam, with just 43%, well, it's more than Call of Duty, being positive at the time of writing. This is despite Escape from Tarkov 1.0 making tons of important additions and improvements to the popular extraction shooter. But looking through this article, it doesn't really seem to be any, he doesn't give any like, hey, here's why people are quote unquote review bombing this game. As per usual, anytime one of these mainstream media dipshits, especially in the gaming journalism, which I'm always going to use the word journalist very lightly when it comes to these people, they never actually say, hey, here's what people said, and here's why I believe it's being review bombed, or whatever the question may be. Because review bombing goes both ways, right? You have both people who will go in and give things a negative review on purpose just to be a dickwad. I'm not denying that. That does happen. But you're also going to have people that go in and give things a positive review just because they want to counteract the people who gave it legitimate negative reviews. But you know what? Let's go ahead. Okay, well, we'll take a look here. There we go. And let's see why people are complaining. Okay, let's see. Valve should change their policy over third-party launchers because every game can put this horrible ones like this game that can't handle players. When you try to log on for over 2 hours and ask for a refund. So apparently this person wasn't even complaining they had to, but they couldn't log on. So what was the point of even buying the game? Okay, I get that. Well, let's see here. Spend 110 euros on the Prepare for Escape Edition plus PvE DLC. Open the game. Okay, yeah, you open the game when you do that, right? So, okay, fine, cool. Need to create an account. Why should you have to create an account when you open a game you bought? There's no reason for that. Open website to create account. Website under maintenance. Wait multiple hours. Open the game. Need to create account. Open website to create account. Under maintenance. Wait multiple hours. See, oh my God. See, okay. That's a legitimate complaint. It's a legitimate complaint to me. If you are going to force people to make an account with you in order to play a game, it is your responsibility as the publisher to have made it so they could do it without hassle, right? But apparently, people complaining is review bombing. Say the developers are scumbags. They attached a separate login window. When you click play on Steam, it pulls up the Tarkov pop-up login window, which clocks you as in-game, even though the game hasn't actually opened. So it seems to be the biggest complaint is just the simple fact, right? The simple itty bitty fact that you have to log on to a different window. Now, does that constitute review bombing? I don't think it does. I think it's people making a legitimate complaint, and that's all there is to it. But what do you think? Do you think that these complaints constitute saying it's review bombing? Or are you with me and say that basically the mainstream media are still full of shills and fucktards, and the moment their access goes away, because it will at some point, well, I mean, I was going to say they'll become irrelevant, but for the most part, they kind of already are. I mean, I'll sit here and, piss and bitch and moan and complain or whatever about something they do or say, but does it affect me in any way? No, not really. Not at all, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Like I said, what do you think? Do you think that they're becoming more irrelevant every day? I'm going to say yes. Anyway, if you like what I do here, do me a giant favor hitting those like and subscribe buttons, commenting below, and I will see you boys and girls later on. Have yourself a great, wonderful, awesome day. Bye-bye.